Everything you've done everything right. You've built a career, created success, and checked all the boxes. So why does making your next big life decision feel harder than ever? What if the pressure you feel to figure it out quickly is actually the very thing leading you away from the clarity you're looking for? In this episode, we're unpacking why high achieving women struggle most during transitions and the subtle shift that changes everything about how you make your next move. Hi, and welcome to the You World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, transformational coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to empower coaches and entrepreneurs to amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head on over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to hunt them down. Today, we are chatting with Edith Espinola. Edith is a top producing realtor and transformational life coach who helps high achieving women navigate life transitions with clarity, confidence, and alignment. By blending real estate expertise with intuitive coaching and mindset work, she supports clients in making empowered decisions that reflect who they're becoming, not just where they've been. Welcome to the show, Edith. It's really great to have you with us.
Thank you, Jill. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, let me ask you the big question. Are you all ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Brace yourself.
I know.
What's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
I think loving ourselves and loving others. I believe that we were brought here on this earth to love and be loved, and that is what it's all about. I think when we love each other, there's an acceptance, there's compassion, and that will go a long way in like righting any kind of wrongs. So that's what I think we need to do.
I agree with you. And we're all connected. So it's like really,
Yes.
when you start down the path of they always and he never, you you you're just like hurting yourself.
Right, exactly, exactly. Yeah, because we are all one. So when we hurt another, we're hurting ourselves. So we're right in alignment there, Jill.
I think so. So tell me, how do you connect real estate and life coaching? I,
It's really wonderful. So, when it comes to real estate, people are either buying up and wanting to create the life that they've dreamed about, right? Like where you live is such an important factor in the life that you live. And then there's also my clients who are downsizing, their kids have grown up or they've become a widow or widower or they've divorced, a life change to downsize. And then that is also a manifestation of what they want their life to look like. So when people change their homes, they're changing their life. And that's when I get to come in and talk with them about what it is that they really want to do, how they see their life in the future, what do they want to bring from the past into the present, into the future. And it's a lovely experience because we honor the life that they had in the home that they had, and then we celebrate where they're going in the home that they do go to.
oh, I love that. Do you mainly work with older people
I
or
do work
younger
with a
people?
lot of older people. Like in my age group, we have
Mhm.
parents who are, they're going into a home, a care facility, or they've passed away. So I work with a lot of trusts. But then I also love that first time home buyer because they're so excited. They want to make sure that they do the right thing. And it's something that they've been dreaming about for so long. So the impact of helping them achieve that it's just such a wonderful high. So I kind of wrote work with the whole gamut, but yes, there's definitely a lot of older people because I'm a boomer. So
I'm a boomer too.
that's right. Yeah, we're the biggest group right now. And so a lot of real estate's happening with us.
And we're moving from the McCastles into more. I've bought and sold so much real estate in my life, but I I'm we're thinking about moving into a trailer,
Oh, into a where, a trailer? Oh my God, that's so cool.
like a fifth wheel.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you want to move into the trailer?
Well, just we want an adventure. We're in a house that's I love this house. It's old and it's kind of quirky and but it's got some really steep stairs and
Mm,
I spent 3 months with my dad who's 90 and still lives on his own in a community in a house. And I'm I spent a lot of time with people that weren't a lot older than I am, but there's you start to have physical challenges with
yes.
things, and realistically, I'm not sure how long I could sustain living here. And there's also the maintenance on the house itself and the yard and things like that that we're not really in a situation where we could do this ourselves
Yes.
in another 15 or 20 years. And I don't want my kids to be like, well, we have to sell mom and dad's house. And we have to deal with all their crap. And, I
Yes.
live for that nightmare that's going to happen when my dad goes, because he has
Right.
like a 2,500 square foot house and an
Yeah.
art studio and a garage and a, patio area that's like another room full of
Yes.
stuff. And it's just like, and
Yeah.
people collect stuff. He's been there
It's
for
so
30 years.
Right? It's so true. And that's what a lot of people are doing. And that's why I asked you, what it was it the trailer that you wanted because it is single level and it is more compact and there's not like you don't have the yard that you need to worry about and you could travel. You guys can go travel anywhere that you want with that. And I have found that there are a lot of people in our age group who are experiencing the same thing. They're cleaning out their homes earlier because they just had to go through it with their parents' home. And it is overwhelming. It's like you don't want to be frustrated, but you are because you ask, why do they still have this? Like, I've never seen this in my life before. Or, it's a piece of a costume that they wore 20 years ago, right? But I do find that a lot of people who are downsizing that are boomers, that they are looking at condos and they're
Mhm.
looking at luxury condos because they want the elevator that goes up. They want to have a nice view, but they don't want to do any yard work, and they just want it nice one level and still feel roomy. So that is definitely where clients are going that are downsizing.
I think we would end up buying a piece of land with our kids, and they want to have a commune sort of thing going on.
Yes.
We were homesteading. I live in Idaho, and so homesteading is kind of a thing. And being self-sufficient and off-grid, they're just that's kind of how we are. I
Hmm.
have I have two other kids that live in San Diego, and one of them he lives in it's Lakeside, but it's up on the hill in Lakeside, and he has what he calls his compound up there.
Hmm.
Everything is $1 million home, but he has a really huge home, and then he has another home, a smaller, like 1,500 square foot space, and then another 1,500 square foot house that he put up for a modular home that he put up that he rents. So his father lives in the house that he just finished building. They live in the big house and then they rent out
Yeah.
the other house to somebody else.
Yeah.
But you
The,
just, the whole coming together thing, I think, is happening more often.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people, and my son included. He lives down in Texas and they have, they live out there in the forest and they're homesteading and they love it. It's beautiful. They have a dome home.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are going into that compound, right? And that's all about like the love and the sharing and growing your own food because you can't trust if the food that you're buying is healthy, and people want to be in control of that. And, having your children grow up with like their relatives or good friends' kids, it's really a beautiful thought process to be doing that, to have a family compound.
It is. And I have five children, but the last three grew up with my husband's dad. He lived with us most of his life, his older life.
Hmm.
And then, so they're used to the idea of being around extended family. And so I feel like that would be a better environment if we could swing it
Hmm.
altogether than having them have to like deal with us when we're in our 80s or 90s. And it's usually
Yeah.
about, when you're starting to hit 80, that there's a big turn in most people's ability to function on their own. And
Yes.
then the kids have to start helping you make decisions and supporting you. Even my dad is really alert and smart, and he has all his marbles, but he's 90, and at 90 there's energy
Right.
deficits that you have to deal with. So
Right. Right. So yeah, so I love the idea of like having the families together. And I grew up where my parents are from Guam. So on the island there was the family compound and the relatives were close by, and the older ones babysat the babies while the middle group went to work, and then everybody's taking care of everyone. So it's a beautiful way to live. And I think that it's really nice because, there's certain things that happen in life that you get to learn about and become comfortable with. Like, for example, death, right? If you grow up with relatives around you and the older relatives, when someone dies, you start to understand that that's just a process of life, and it's not so scary because you know that there's the sadness, there's the grieving, but life still goes on. So I love when the families are there and there's the different levels.
like that too. It just they if you're not living all by yourself off in the corner, then I really don't like the whole warehousing old people
Yeah.
process. That happens a lot. It's just like, no, we're not dealing with you. We're gonna put you over there. And some of them are very nice. I mean,
Yes.
I've been in there, but it's still you're being held captive in a space, and you're being managed by people. And it works for some people, just not going to
Yeah.
be for
Not for
me.
you, not for me.
Not for my
Right?
dad
Yeah.
either.
Right, right. And so it's kind of nice because, like, this is where manifestation comes in, right? Like, we can
Mhm.
talk with our parents. So, my mom, she's 86 years old and she still lives in her two-story townhouse. So, she's going up and down the stairs. And so, I'm talking to her, like, what do you want your life to look like? And she's like, I want to be in my 90s and strong enough to go up and down the stairs. So, she's manifesting that's what she wants, and then that's what she's doing. But for me, on the other side, it's like, okay, I want to support you in this manifestation and I want to visualize that with you and make sure that it happens. But, I'm also nervous just because I'd be the one to go and
Yeah.
help her if she should get hurt, right?
And when you're old, you fall down and that's it.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
the end. And
Right.
I've seen it happen so many times.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't want that for my kids. And I have a two-story house right now with really steep stairs. And
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
deal with it now? Yeah, it's not a problem. But I know in 15 years, the chances of me falling down those stairs and breaking something and it's the end is
Yeah.
like exponentially greater. And
Right.
you know,
Right. Yeah.
nothing
So I
against
want
your mom, but it's just like it's
to.
having these practical conversations with older people that's really difficult.
Yes.
They
Yes,
they get
absolutely.
entrenched in like this is the way it's going to be, and I
Yes.
can do it, and they can all
Yeah.
the way up until they can't.
Right, exactly. And it's interesting. So when I do talk with my clients who are, they're getting older and they're ready to downsize, I take them through the manifestation process, right? And like with you just now talking about like the visualization part. Like how do you see your life? What would you like to be doing? And so it's been actually very interesting talking with, the seniors who are thinking of downsizing. They're still thinking big, right? Well, one of them's thinking big. Oh, I want to work in the yard. I want to do this. And then the other one is like, well, I don't want him working out in the yard. I don't want to work out in the yard, right? I want single level. And I've just noticed that there's a trend that they're going towards condos. And it's the ones with the nice elevators and the ones that are, all everything is brand new and there's big windows so they have the views. And it's really interesting because I haven't experienced that until this year. And it's like a big movement where people are looking at condos because it's so easy and they can leave that home and go travel without the worry of anybody knowing that the home is empty. So there's a lot of cool things about, deciding when you're older and you want to downsize and then taking the experience from our parents of what they've done. And, like you said, you're starting to clear things out of your house. I know I am. And it feels good to know that I'm doing something that will help to make it a little easier when I do go.
Yeah. And you have children too, right?
I do. I have two sons.
So we have children who can come and deal with our leftovers. There are a lot of people out there who are single
Mhm.
and they have accumulated a lot of stuff in their life.
Yeah.
And it's just like, who's going to deal with all of this when you go?
Right, right. See,
I didn't
those
think
are the
about
kind
that.
of people that would benefit from working with me because, I would ask them like what is your vision of what you want your life to be like? And, one of the things, the main thing, the first thing is to like be in gratitude for where their life is right now and
Mhm.
just to be in gratitude for whatever they find important. And while we're going through that process, they get to take stock of where they're at. And
Mhm.
then as they're doing that, they're figuring out where they want to go. And that part's fun because then they do the visualization and they're picturing what it is that they want and what they want their life to look like. Like my client, I just recently sold his home. He had lived with his wife there for 45 years and she had passed away last year. And he decided that he was going to move back home where he grew up into Seattle, right? And we
Mhm.
were talking about what is it that you want? And he wanted a luxury condo. He can look out and he can see the Space Needle and the mountains behind. And like he had that visual image. And sure enough, he found that condo. And then we sold his house for more than we thought. It was a really hot market. And so it was wonderful to be able to help him with that. Now, he was alone and he had 45 years in his home. So we hired somebody to go through everything. And then he would pick what he wanted to keep and what he didn't. But it was quite a process. We carry a lot of stuff with us.
We do.
Mhm.
It just sometimes it's just like crazy stuff that you really. I used to tease one of my sons about trash processing. Just
Uh,
like, I must hang on to this. No, it's trash.
yeah.
But we all do it.
Oh,
It's like
absolutely.
the treasures that we have. And please
Yes.
don't move them because I'll never find it again.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, it's funny. My son just told me last night, he was like, okay, mom, anything that you have, if it's associated with somebody that you no longer care about or you have negative feelings for some reason, he's like, get rid of it then, right? Just get rid of it because you don't need the energy that's attached to that.
Mm.
And he's right, I had a bracelet that I got from a friend who we ended up not being friends in a very bad way. Like there was a
Mhm.
betrayal, right? And that bracelet, I saw it and I always liked it because it's pretty. And but now I'm like, you know what? I am going to get rid of it because every time I see it, I think of her and I feel like, wow, we're not she wasn't who I thought she was. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking at. And then there's things that, being a room parent that the teacher gave me. And, those are just little tchotchkes that I don't really need, right? So I'm starting to go through the process of decluttering too.
Yeah, and the more we can do that younger, it's just the more that we help other people because
Yes.
somebody is going to have to deal with it at some point. And I don't know.
Right. And I think that, whoever we help, like my older client, right?
Mhm.
He felt so good. He felt so light and so free that, at first I felt like, he was like, as I'm getting rid of everything, I feel like I'm getting rid of the memories of my wife, and that I don't like. And I'm like, you will never get rid of your memories of your wife, right? All you're doing is getting rid of this spice set that you guys bought on your honeymoon, right? You don't need 40-year-old spice. We can get rid of that. And so I kind of helped him to make it fun. Like, where are you going and what's your vision? And do you see this old spice rack with these brown spices that's supposed to be green? In your new kitchen, do you see that? Or shall we like get rid of it or, get it prepared so somebody else can get it? And he started to like feel the freedom. And that was very rewarding for him. So it was easy then to go into the gratitude for the life that he had because he had switched his mindset about I'm going to be in gratitude. I'm going to remember the joy that I had with my wife in this home. And I got to be part of some really wonderful memories that he shared with me. And it was a beautiful experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my dad when my mom passed. My sisters and I went and we cleaned out all of her stuff and um so we kind of erased a lot of her out of the house. Um, and he wanted us to help him. I mean, it wasn't
Mhm.
he did need the help, but he found one ski boot of hers. They used to ski a lot in the back of this
Mhm.
closet, and he's just like, "Oh, she sent me a message."
Oh, I love that. I love that your dad accepted that message. Oh, that's precious.
It was really very precious. It just like, yeah.
Yeah. And then that must have, like, how was it for you with your sisters, clearing out your mom's stuff?
Well, I had so many issues with my mom, so it wasn't. I ended up with a frozen shoulder
Oh
and
no.
pneumonia so bad I was in the hospital after I got back. So there was a lot of energy exchange in there. But it's been 10 years. Actually, it's been like 12 years now. And it's all good and
Yeah.
all the stuff has been processed and my dad actually has had a girlfriend. He he took up with a woman across the street who's like 12 years his junior. Um, her
Go
name is
dad.
Joy. Yeah. She's still around. She lives in Freedom Plaza,
Uh-huh.
which is her little tiny apartment. Um, but yeah, she kept him going. And to this day, I know her kids, and I like her kids a lot.
Yeah.
and I like her a lot. She's kind of losing her marbles and she's struggling, but
Mm,
she kept my dad young. She gave
yeah.
him purpose and she would take him places and make him do stuff, and she was always on the go, I- and he's still on the go now. I mean, he's
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. It's amazing what happiness and love can do, right? Like
yeah.
I know on the frequency scale, right, that it's up high, and that's also where, wealth has that opening to come into our life when we're in joy and we're in love. And
Mhm.
so I love that your dad had a girlfriend who was younger to keep him young, and then he probably felt like he had won the jackpot, right? So, what a joy to see him so happy. Only good things can happen then.
He always talks about living in the golden or the velvet sack. 'Cause his
Yeah.
whole life has been like that. He
Oh,
just like has had amazing experiences, and we've gotten to have these amazing experiences with him when we were younger. But it's just like he does life well, my husband likes to say.
yeah. I love that, right? And it's interesting because, like you say, your dad lives in the velvet sack. Like he has been committed to the idea that life is always working for him and it's
Yeah,
always good, right?
yeah.
Like your dad's probably a powerful manifester.
He's a very powerful manifester.
I believe it. I believe
He's
it, with this frequency so high and, always believing that commitment to having life be beautiful and joyful. Very nice. Very
it
nice.
is really, really pretty amazing. I
Yeah.
hope he lives for many more years. He just is like he wakes up every day and is convinced it's going to be a great day.
Yeah.
He
That's
spent
it.
3 months going through cancer treatment, and he
Wow.
still had that attitude. It was
That
it.
is key. He is a powerful manifester then, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
it sounds like he's living with a gratitude mindset. And it sounds like he's visualizing that his life is going to be beautiful no matter what. And then he's got that affirmation or that sentence that grounds his soul into his greatest joy is that it's going to be a beautiful day, right? That commitment that it's going to be a beautiful day. And then he's probably taking action to do what it is that he needs to do to make it a beautiful day.
He
And
does.
yeah, so he's got all the steps down, Jill.
He
That's
does.
awesome.
I learned just so much from him while I spent time there. I mean, he walks every day, walks a mile, and he does Tai Chi for 45
Oh, I
minutes every
love Tai
day.
Chi.
I, he he does too. It's all about energy and breathing. And he's an amazing cook. I mean, like he gets up in the morning and he calls it having his 3 o'clock conference with his voices. They decide what's going to be for dinner. And then he makes it, and oh God, he's just like such a good cook.
I
But
love that. I love
he's
that. That's
like,
so awesome. And I love his 3 a.m. conference.
yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, I sometimes think, because I wake up all the time at 3 a.m., I
Mhm.
sometimes think if I were to text a friend, would they be awake? And I know they're probably awake, right? It's funny.
It is. It's just like there's something magical about 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know, for sure. And it's kind of like I'm there all the time. It's like, oh, it must be 3 a.m.
Yeah, I don't have to look at my clock. I just know.
Right, right, exactly.
And then I have to make the determination, do I get up now? Or am I going to pretend like I'm going to sleep for another hour and a half?
I know.
And
Oh,
if I can lay there and not disturb the dogs.
yeah, right. Because they probably want your attention once they know
Oh,
you're up. Is that right?
yeah. Treats happen in the morning.
Yeah, they don't care if the morning is dark or not. They want their treats.
Well, yeah, if your mom's moving, then it must be time.
Yeah.
So, if someone is listening right now and feeling stuck between urgency and uncertainty, what's one shift they could make today that would start making decisions that they won't regret?
So let's see if they're trying to decide and they feel that there's a sense of urgency, but they feel like they're stuck. So, practicing gratitude, I think, is a big deal to help us figure out, to make the move to move forward. Because when we are in a mindset of gratitude, we are taking stock of where our life is and what our thoughts are and what our hopes and dreams have been, and where we've been. So looking at who we are and who's in our life and being grateful for them, and then knowing that, I'm happy here where I'm at. So this is good. I don't have to be stuck because this is good and it's safe to move forward. Then to trust that what they want to do with their life, that it is possible. And I also think that it's important to understand that, you know, if you try something and you fail, you're not the failure. You just failed. And you can't get to success sometimes without going through failure. So I think that it's important for people to understand the circumstance or the failure, it proves you're trying. And if you embody that failure as yourself, then you're missing the boat. You're choosing to be unhappy. You're choosing to inflict pain on yourself by believing that you're the failure. So I think the mindset shift of understanding that my circumstances do not define me. My failure is that the thing that I was doing is the step, and thank goodness I know what doesn't work now, because now I can figure out what does work and I can move forward from there. So taking stock, being in gratitude, and then being easy on yourself. I think that that's a good way to move forward.
I like that. I think let, the ability to let go,
Yes.
and I think being having gratitude for the circumstances that you're in, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what they are, the
Yes.
experience you're currently having, and not passing judgment on that experience. It is just an experience. It doesn't mean
Yes.
anything about you. It's just the experience you're having at the moment. And then being able to move out of it because you're not taking ownership of it. I think
Yes.
sometimes we get stuck in situations where it's like, I'm afraid to move because I haven't processed what I'm dealing with right now, and I can't manifest something because I can't imagine something different than what I'm experiencing now. And I think it happens a lot when people are in pain.
Yes.
The more pain you're in at that moment makes it harder to make other decisions where you can envision not being in that painful situation any longer.
Right, right. And I think that the gratitude is important because it reminds you, even when you're in pain, that there are things to be grateful for. And
Mhm.
then I think also practicing self-love and compassion and forgiveness. I know for me, forgiveness was a huge, huge thing because I was judging myself and afraid that I would make another bad mistake. I would make another wrong decision. So having the compassion that, you know, I did the best I could with what I had in that moment. And then knowing that because I'm going through the pain, that that's when growth is occurring. And so if I allow myself to really look at the situation and see how I've grown as a result of facing this hardship, facing the pain, facing the grief, then it's like, okay, I forgive myself for, making the mistakes that I had. I accept myself for who I am and knowing that I'm continuing to grow, and I'm going to love myself through this pain because I know it's important in the process of growth and the process of spiritual healing, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, right? And so I'm
Mhm.
going to love myself through that.
I like that. I like that a lot. And there's so many tools these days that uh, some of them have been around for a long time that for one reason or another they weren't like top of the mind. Things like tapping and breathing
Yes.
and uh, there's a Hawaiian thing that I can never do the name.
Oh yeah, Ho'oponopono.
Yes, that, thank you.
Yeah, because that's what helped me. Ho'oponopono. That helped me with that forgiveness, right? What is
Yeah,
it? I forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I can't remember the last one.
I can't remember the last one either, but
Yeah.
it's about it's okay. We're gonna move
Yes.
on, and it's and you just keep saying it, and it's
Yes.
and eventually your mind gets with the program, leaves you alone.
I know your mind is like, okay, all right, you've been going through this, you're trying, right?
I think our minds are like the worst enemy that we could ever have. I mean, it could be our best friend, but it can be our worst enemy because it's that little voice in there that's just like so critical and wants to like rehash things conversations that will never take place or
Right,
conversations that took place and went a different direction. That's not going to change.
right,
I have
right,
arguments with my brain in the shower.
right,
We're
right,
not having a conversation, so why are we thinking about it? Let's
right,
think about
right.
something else.
Right, exactly. And it's hard to let that go sometimes, right? Especially if we feel like we've been wronged. It's like, I should have said this. I should have said that. I should have done this. But like you said, it's so important to like release the past. And I feel that that's actually one of the keys to having a really good life is to release
Mhm.
the past because there's nothing we could do about it now, right? It's like what happened happened and there's nothing I could do. If it didn't work out, I can't change it. If it did work out, then I'm going to build on it, right? But yeah, releasing the past is so key.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that there's a meme that was out. It's like when things aren't going your way, yell plot twist.
Yeah,
Carry on.
I love that. I'm going to start doing that, Jill. I'm going to start doing that. That'll be fun to yell it out too.
Yeah, yeah, it's very cathartic. And it makes you laugh. And when you laugh, you feel better, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I love to laugh. I giggle and laugh so much. Like I find humor in things and I try to maintain that um the joy because I feel like I was just born that way. I've always been like a giggler and I laugh easily, but it feels so good to laugh, right? Just have that
Mhm.
expression, that outward expression of joy and happiness. So, you know, I love it. I will always find the comedian in the room.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
So, Edith, you do help people. Is it mostly with real estate or is it mostly with life coaching or is it just a combination of both of them? How do people get in touch with you? How does all of that look?
Yeah, so I do help people with either one. A lot of times it starts out where they're my real estate client and they enjoy the experience so much because by the time that they've sold their home and they bought their new one, they see that the whole transaction was the transformation, right? Like
Mhm.
that was the vehicle for their transformation. So they want to do more. And so then they become a life coaching client. And then I also have my life coaching clients who have gone through something really big. Like I have a client that there was a lot of pain over her baby that died so young. And then there was pain of a stillbirth. And then she got divorced. And so all of that I got to help her go through and process and be in gratitude for the life that she did have and the life they shared together. And so I was also then her realtor because when we were going through all of that, she was like, "Oh, I'm ready to buy my own home now," right? And what was wonderful is She, because I do manifestation, we're always manifesting what do you want your life to look like? And she wanted to live in a certain community. And it's like, really hip and cute and luxury townhomes. And there was no way that she should have been able to afford it. There was no way she should have got it. But as it worked out, everything just fell in alignment for her and she got it. And that is one of my big success stories with the manifestation because she was moving forward, she was doing it, and she knew this is what I want. And she was doing everything she needed to, taking the aligned actions, being held accountable, and she got it. And to this day, we still celebrate. Whenever I go to her house, we still celebrate with a, oh my God, I can't believe this is your beautiful home. So, yes. Um, it's fun being able to work with my clients in both aspects, and it always turns out to be such a joy for me to see them grow and to achieve what it is that they want to achieve, and to see their visualizations come into come to life. And it's a wonderful experience. So people can get a hold of me. I am on Instagram and on Facebook. On Facebook, it's the Espinola Real Estate Team, or my personal Facebook is Edith Espinola. And on Instagram, I think I'm Edith Espinola. I should have looked at that. And then I'm also on LinkedIn, and I do have my website, edithespinola.com.
And Substack, don't forget Substack.
Oh, that's right. And Substack, that I'm brand new on Substack. I finally got the account. Now I got to like start doing things. Yes, on Substack. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. It's
Thank you.
edithespinola.substack.com.
Thank you.
And you do offer people a complimentary guide for the spiritual and conscious community called Living in Alignment. Do you want to talk a
Yes.
little bit about that?
Yeah, so the guide is about, living in alignment. So it's really about the steps of manifestation. And so it'll guide you into, we talked about the gratitude mindset and how important that is. And then we go into visualizing what it is that you want and the steps that follow so that you could take aligned action to create the life that you want. And it's simple. Sometimes they're not easy because, as you know, when we go through transformation, we come up against our limiting beliefs, right? That's how we know we're on the right path because we come up against something that says, no, I can't do that, right? I've never done it before. I don't know how to do it. I can't do that. And so then going through the process of change and oh my goodness. I can't remember his name. Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor, he talks about the process of change, how you get the idea, and then the idea starts to germinate in your subconscious mind, and then you're ready to take the leap of faith to break through the terror barrier. And that's when it's scary. That's when we're worried. What am I going to do? Is this going to work? But when we go through that terror barrier and we take that leap of faith, that jump, it's like it's like magic. Like the clouds open up, everything's okay. You didn't die. You got what you wanted. And then you can't even remember what the past was like. So, or everything that made you scared to get here, it's like it kind of disappears. So that's the process that this guide is going to help you through.
I love that.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for joining me today.
Oh, it was my pleasure, Jill. I was so excited because I've seen, some of your other interviews, and I was so excited and nervous to be here, but you've been so gracious. Thank you.
So you can learn more about Edith and get the complimentary guide for spiritual and conscious community called Living in Alignment at edithespinola.com Or you can visit her on Substack at edithespinola.substack.com, and we'll be sure and put those links in the show notes below. Thank you for joining us today. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and start attracting premium clients, the next step is simple. Head to thecoachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get busy.